Olá pessoal, sejam todas bem-vindas ao Conexões Pretas. E no vídeo de hoje eu estou aqui no Brooklyn para responder as perguntas que vocês me mandaram lá no Instagram, que faz parte do nosso O Brasil Quer Saber. É um programa aqui do YouTube, faz um tempo que eu não gravo, mas a ideia é trazer um convidado para contar um pouco da história dele, responder todas as perguntas que vocês me mandam, principalmente lá no Instagram, porque eu abri caixinha e vocês me mandaram. E tem umas coisas, gente, tão interessantes. Tenho certeza que você vai curtir esse vídeo. E se você tá chegando aqui pela primeira vez nesse canal, se inscreve, já ativa o sininho de notificações pra você não perder os vídeos que eu posto aqui. Aproveita e dá uma passada aí nas playlists, porque tem muito vídeo legal por aqui. E vai seguir o Conexões Pretas também lá no Instagram, porque lá eu posto vídeo diariamente, lá eu tenho uma conexão mais próxima, porque é mais fácil, talvez, da gente se comunicar, da gente trocar. Então, bora lá! Gente, hoje eu tô aqui com meu amigo Derrick, que vai responder as perguntas de vocês. E eu vou pedir então pra ele fazer uma breve apresentação de quem é ele.
Hello, I'm Derrick. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn all of my life. 37 years, I'm an old man. I'm in advertising and I would love to take you on a tour one time.
E aí, gente, vamos lá então. Vocês viram, né? Vocês entenderam que é uma pessoa que mora aqui desde quando nasceu, ou seja, 37 anos. E conhece muito da história do Brooklyn. E eu tenho aprendido muito com ele, inclusive, sobre vários lugares, várias curiosidades. E ele vai levar a gente para um tour, então. Então, bora lá. Então, vamos começar aqui com o Barclays Center, gente. What is that?
So, the Barclays Center is an arena that was built about 10 years ago. It's similar to maybe if you heard of Madison Square Garden. Tons of events, sporting, boxing, music. A lot of stars come here. This place was actually built about 2012. I went to high school about 10 blocks away and I saw it being built, I saw it come up, and there's a lot of backstory to it. There's a lot of destruction involved. This area was really big with the black culture when it came to music and arts and poetry. A lot of great artists came from different parts of the world to live here, like Erykah Badu, Common, Talib Kweli. A lot of people who have a lot of knowledge of self. But within this area, they needed to kind of destroy some buildings to build a new arena, and those are the people who were kicked out.
Okay, I got it. And what's the relation with Jay-Z in this place?
Jay-Z is actually one of the ambassadors of the Barclays Center. So he was one of the main people who got a lot of the autographs and a lot of the names passed on to get this place built in here and got the community behind it. And actually, in a couple of blocks, I'll take you to where Jay-Z used to live.
Então, gente, vamos lá.
And as we go, I'll show you if you can turn over here to this clock. This is a world-famous clock in Brooklyn. You can see it from all around. Whenever you need to know the time, it's always lit up at night.
Wow.
Can't stop with me. I told her she can't stop the vlog with me because I always have something to show you. So, for instance, these buildings behind us, you can pan up some. None of these were here. They've all been built in the last, I'm going to say, 4 or 5 years. Tons of construction going up, and Brooklyn is almost turning into Manhattan.
You see? Vou deixar o telefone aqui, a câmera ligada, porque é isso, sabe? Agilidade.
Director, cameraman. We're very aggressive in New York.
Oh yeah! Ele tá dizendo que aqui as pessoas são muito agressivas. E é verdade, assim, pra você andar em Nova York, você tem que ter um ritmo. É o ritmo da cidade.
Everything is very fast, we move fast, we don't have time for slow people. You'll notice if someone is walking slow, they'll walk right around them. It's called the New York Minute, meaning that we can do an hour's worth of things within 1 minute.
E é sério, gente. Por isso que eu sempre tô tentando me desconectar, porque é um ritmo que a gente se percebe durante o dia, assim. Você não precisa estar com pressa, mas você tá correndo com alguma coisa.
We do because we're in New York, it's a constant pace. You actually don't notice it once you lived here for a while. You feel like it's slow, and then when you go to a country or to a city where people are slower, you actually get bored. You want to take a nap.
É verdade, gente.
See the scenes we see? Empire State Building behind you.
Eu vejo. I see. Eu acho que eu vou entregar a câmera pra ele, viu? I think I'm gonna give the camera to you.
And we can tell she's Brazilian because she's the only person out here with earmuffs on.
Tá muito frio, gente. Vocês entenderam? Tá frio demais. It's cold. This is the place.
As you can see, it's 560 State Street. So if you listen to Jay-Z's albums, his rhymes, he noted that he lived here right before he became a rapper, more so within the pharmaceutical industry that he was working in, drugs.
Wow.
So this is the place he lived, the condominium here. This is very expensive and wonderful real estate 25 years ago in New York. Price-wise, rent may have been, say, $1,500, $2,000 for a one-bedroom. Right now, it's probably $4,000 for one bedroom.
That's crazy! Muito caro, misericórdia. Tem um vídeo do Jay-Z que ele gravou lá em cima. Eu posso deixar linkado lá no Instagram pra vocês verem.
Do those edits for this.
Yeah. E a gente continua aqui, olha. Olha daqui o relógio. Olha.
About this.
Oh, olha
Show them
isso.
how we cross the street.
Olha isso.
We don't use the regular street walk. Like, look down there. We walk right in the middle.
We should. Deveríamos.
There's no patience in New York, so you go where you go.
Deveríamos, né?
So these are 1 in a million. In Brooklyn, Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn, we all have food trucks. So there are restaurants you can go eat and have your lunch and things, but people come from work, they go right downstairs, you get an empanada, you'll have a taco truck, you'll have an Italian truck. So these are really good small businesses that people who don't have enough money to buy a whole building to work out of, they can get themselves a truck and start their own corporation.
And the good thing, you help the community, the local community, right?
Yes, because you know the people who have these trucks are from the community and you're giving back at the same time.
Isso eu acho espetacular, poder comprar da própria comunidade. Continuamos aqui, caminhando, depois de passar pelos food trucks. Ah, olha a Apple aqui. Engraçado que as pessoas ficam olhando assim quando a gente tá gravando.
So you know, this is a very important place. This is called BAM. BAM is an acronym. Black Arts and Music, Brooklyn Arts and Music, but this is a big dance center for a lot of African American ballet dancers, a lot of singers, a lot of journalists. They come here and they showcase their art. This building has been here for dozens and dozens and dozens of years. It's a landmark within Brooklyn and it's really big within the African American culture.
Wow. That's amazing. Que interessante, né, gente?
See, when I say once a year, they have a festival here. It's called the African Festival. And all cultures of Africa come here with this block, these 2 blocks. They have music, they have food, they have all types of arts and shows to showcase for the community.
Eu quero vir. I want to come here. When this happened?
I believe it's in the summer when it's not so cold.
Então, perdi. Agora vai ficar pro próximo ano. Vamos fazer mais uma vez. Atravessar no sinal vermelho. Porque o que? A gente tá com pressa.
It's actually the Brooklyn Academy of Music. You can change that as well. And these cute little restaurants and shops outside, none of these existed 25 years ago because it was way too dangerous to be around here.
Oh, yes, this is a question that people saying to me. Is it dangerous to live here in Brooklyn?
Right now, it's not dangerous to live in Brooklyn. It's gentrified, so it's a lot of different cultures. Brooklyn's always been a borough of many cultures, but it's very poverty-stricken. So there was a lot of crime, a lot of robberies, like this street alone. Tons of robberies, tons of killings, kidnappings. It was very big within the drug industry, so people really had no care for life. You would catch the bus and have to worry about being able to get home. This street I'll show you up the block here called Fulton Street. It's very famous when we would go shopping. We buy our sneakers, we buy our clothes, but it was more important to be able to get home with your sneakers and clothes.
I heard about that.
To go buy them.
Yeah. Essa é uma das histórias que eu conheço dessa região. That's crazy, gente. Take one question from here.
Take a question.
Yeah.
Make this into a game.
Yeah.
Is the Brazilian community in Brooklyn big? There is no Brazilian community in Brooklyn. She's number one. It's not big at all. Actually, in Queens, there's a bigger Brazilian community. Near Astoria, places like that. Like I used to live over there, and there'll be a little Brazilian bakery, some shops, and I was introduced to my first caipirinhas in Manhattan. But yeah, Brooklyn is not big on Brazilians. I'd say when it comes to different cultures, we're big with Caribbeans. So that's like the Jamaicans, Trinidadian, Bahamas. We have a lot of Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, so those are our Hispanics. Not too much from South America, I could say. The closest we come to South America would be a bunch of Panamanians, right on the top of course, Central America.
But Brooklyn is still a black neighborhood.
Brooklyn is not. See, when people think of Brooklyn, it's not a neighborhood. It's almost like a city. Brooklyn is bigger than Sao Paulo. You know, it's that many people. There's millions and millions of people in Brooklyn. So there's not specific one black city of Brooklyn, but there are little neighborhoods that they're all black, all black, all black. That are a lot of people of color, a lot of white people, Spanish people don't want to move into those neighborhoods because they're still a little bit dangerous.
Because you know, Brazil, no Brooklyn from the Everybody Hates Chris. So we see that black people and violence left, like you said.
And Everybody Hates Chris. Also remember that show was, it's supposed to be set in the 1970s, early 1980s, where, like I was saying, it was a lot more dangerous to be in Brooklyn. And I'll save you walking because I know you're cold.
Yes.
So this bus is one bus that I would take every single day, coming from my neighborhood of East New York. Speaking of danger, so we talked about neighborhoods. So like in Sao Paulo and Rio, there are different favelas. My favela was the most dangerous favela in America. Not just New York, not just Brooklyn, but America, because there was so much killing, there was so much violence. So down this block here, I won't walk all the way down, but this is Fulton Street, very, very famous street. If you know Biggie Smalls, Notórios BIG, this is where he used to hang out and roll dice and play and smoke. I'll take you to his place a little further down there, but whenever we got some money, we would go to the strip, we would go shopping, we'd buy new sneakers, buy new coats, you know, our hats and things, but like I said, it was very dangerous. So standing at a bus stop like this over here, you'd have to worry about people walking up on you and taking your new sneakers and taking your clothes. So it was a lot of fighting, it was a lot of guns, a lot of knives, and it's actually a very dangerous place to be in the 1980s, 1990s, early 2000s.
Wow. So it's recently, like 20 years ago.
20 years ago, I'm telling you, I'm an old man, so I'm trying to 20 years ago was 2001. So things began to get a little bit better. I'll get you out the street. One reason why they did get a little bit better in New York, because we had a new mayor. The mayor was Rudy Giuliani. He actually went to my high school. He had this big notion that he wanted to cut down the gangs, because the gangs were very dangerous in Brooklyn in the 90s. They would basically, you would sit on a train station, sit on a train, and they'll walk with a knife and they'll slice your face.
Oh,
just for their initiation into the gang. Not because you did something wrong or because you said something to them, just because they did it. And this would happen daily to people. They'd mess with girls, mess with guys, everything. But he made a law that made it illegal for them to have their bandanas and their colors in their pocket. So the more people saw them, the more they got arrested. And if they got caught, they got more time to their prison sentence just because they were in a gang.
And what the color of bandana?
Okay, so gangs in Brooklyn, we have the Bloods, which are red. We have the Crips, which are blue. In those days, there were a lot more Bloods. They started in the jail in New York. In Los Angeles, they started on the streets. In New York, they started in the jails. We also have Latin gangs. We have gangs of all different types of cultures, but he specifically went after the black gangs because those were the ones that were causing the most terror, to be honest. See the clock again? You always know what time it is.
E aí, meu povo, vocês estão gostando do vídeo? Não esquece de deixar o seu like aqui e também não esquece de se inscrever no Conexões Pretas se você ainda não tá inscrito aqui no canal. Porque esse projeto documentário gravado com meu amigo Derrick, vocês estão vendo aí que tem uma baita experiência e vivência do Brooklyn, tá trazendo pra gente um olhar a partir da vivência dele, da história dele sobre a história do Brooklyn. Então eu espero que vocês estejam gostando e a gente se vê na próxima semana para a parte 2 desse projeto documentário sobre o Brooklyn. Até mais!